Let's get started. Start with listening, and then learn new words and practice them in sentences.
Have you ever wondered why some people manage to sway opinions and decisions in their favor more effectively than others in high-stakes meetings? Today, we're going to dive into the captivating world of persuasion and explore how mastering this art can be a game-changer in high-stakes environments. Let's begin by defining persuasion. Persuasion, at its core, is the art of influencing others. It's about swaying people's opinions, decisions, or actions in a direction that aligns with your own goals. But why is persuasion so important, particularly in high-stakes meetings? Imagine the pressure cooker environment of a boardroom where every decision has significant implications. In these situations, the power of persuasion becomes a valuable tool. It's not just about presenting your ideas, but about convincing others to believe in them, to back them, to invest in them. Let's delve into a real-life case that perfectly encapsulates this. The story of Steve Jobs persuading the Apple board to invest in the development of the iPhone. Picture the scene. It's the early 2000s, and the concept of a smartphone is still in its infancy. Jobs, however, had a vision. He saw the potential of a device that could combine the functionality of a phone, a music player, and a computer. But having a vision isn't enough. He needed to persuade the board to take a leap of faith, to invest enormous resources in a product that was far from guaranteed to succeed. So how did he do it? Jobs used a variety of subtle persuasion techniques. He painted a vivid picture of the future, creating a compelling narrative that appealed to both the board's logical and emotional sides. He used strategic questioning to get the board members to envision the potential of the iPhone themselves. By doing this, he wasn't just selling them an idea. He was making them part of its creation. And therein lies the power of persuasion. It's about more than winning an argument or pushing your point of view. It's about fostering understanding, building relationships, and creating a shared vision. As you can see, mastering the art of subtle persuasion can be a game changer in high-stakes environments. So stay tuned as we dive deeper into the sophisticated techniques you can use to become a master persuader. Now that we understand the power of persuasion, let's delve into some subtle techniques that can help you influence outcomes. The first technique we'll explore is hedging. Hedging is a way of expressing uncertainty or indirectness. It's like cushioning your statements to make them more palatable, less absolute. For instance, a CEO might say, "There's a possibility that we might need to reconsider our marketing strategy." Instead of outright declaring the need for a new strategy, the CEO is opening up a dialogue, inviting others to share their thoughts. Next, we have strategic questioning. This is a potent tool for guiding discussions without appearing overbearing. Strategic questions help you subtly steer the conversation in your desired direction. A common example of this is the hypothetical question. Let's say a project manager wants to shift the deadline. Instead of directly proposing it, they might ask, "What do you think would happen if we extended the deadline by a week?" This prompts others to consider the idea and discuss the potential implications, thereby leading them towards the desired decision. Lastly, we have the technique of softening language. This is a way of presenting strong or contentious ideas in a more palatable, diplomatic manner. It's about choosing your words carefully to avoid creating a confrontational atmosphere. For example, a team leader wanting to critique a member's work might say, "Your presentation was good, but there's room for improvement in the data analysis." Here, the criticism is couched within a compliment, making it easier for the team member to accept and act upon. These techniques, hedging, strategic questioning, and softening language, are not about manipulation. They are about fostering open dialogue, encouraging collaboration, and building consensus. They help you navigate high-stakes meetings with tact and finesse, ensuring that everyone feels heard and valued. However, it's crucial to remember that these are tools to guide the conversation. They should not be used to dominate or dictate the discussion. Overuse can lead to mistrust or create an impression of insincerity. So use them wisely, and always with respect for your audience's perspectives. Remember, the effectiveness of these techniques lies in their subtlety. They should guide the conversation, not dominate it. Subtle persuasion isn't just about what you say, but also how you say it. This is where nonverbal communication comes into play. It's a fascinating realm where your tone, body language, and nuanced phrasing can make a profound impact on your ability to persuade. Let's delve into this further. Imagine your voice as an instrument. The tone you use can change the entire meaning of your words. A statement can turn into a question, a fact into a doubt, or a suggestion into a command, all based on your tone. For instance, consider a CEO delivering an important announcement. If they use a confident, steady tone, it resonates authority and assurance, making the audience more inclined to accept the message. Next, let's talk about body language. It's a silent language that speaks volumes. When you're in a high-stakes meeting, your postures, gestures, and facial expressions are under the microscope. They can either enhance or undermine your persuasive efforts. Take the example of a politician giving a public speech. They might use open hand gestures to project honesty, maintain steady eye contact to build trust, or adopt a confident stance to portray strength. These nonverbal cues can sway public opinion, even before a single word is spoken. Lastly, we have nuanced phrasing. This is where the art of subtly conveying your thoughts comes into play. It's about choosing your words carefully to influence the perception of your ideas. For instance, a negotiator might say, "We are open to exploring this avenue," instead of, "We will do this." The former statement is less direct but opens up room for discussion and persuasion. In essence, nonverbal communication is a powerful tool in the realm of subtle persuasion. It's a symphony of elements working together, where your tone sets the melody, your body language creates the rhythm, and your phrasing adds the subtle harmonies. Together, they form a compelling composition that can sway minds and win hearts. So, remember, your nonverbal communication can often speak louder than your words. Use it wisely. So, how can you put these techniques into practice in your own high-stakes meetings? Well, let's start by remembering that persuasion is an art, and like any art, it requires practice. The key is to integrate these techniques into your everyday business communication. Now, let's consider an example. Imagine you're in a negotiation meeting where you're trying to reach a consensus on a complex issue. First, you could use hedging language to present your ideas. Instead of stating your ideas as absolute facts, you might say, "There's a possibility that our approach could lead to increased sales," or "It seems likely that this strategy could improve our market position." This softens your language, making your ideas more palatable to other people in the meeting. Next, strategic questioning is a powerful tool that can help guide the conversation in the direction you want. For instance, you could ask, "What do you think would happen if we implemented this strategy?" Or, "How do you see this impacting our bottom line?" These questions invite others to consider your perspective and can subtly influence their thinking. Finally, remember that nonverbal communication plays a crucial role in persuasion. Maintaining eye contact, leaning in slightly when someone is speaking, and using open body language can build rapport and foster a sense of trust. Now, imagine you've put all these techniques to work in your negotiation. You've used hedging language to present your ideas, asked strategic questions to guide the conversation, and used open body language to build rapport. The result? You've successfully influenced the outcome of the meeting, steering the conversation towards a consensus that aligns with your desired outcome. This, my friends, is the power of mastering subtle persuasion techniques. It's not about manipulation, but about understanding others, building trust, and guiding conversations towards mutually beneficial outcomes. By mastering these subtle persuasion techniques, you can influence decisions, win trust, and steer conversations towards your desired outcomes. So start practicing these techniques today and see the difference it makes in your high-stakes meetings.
Let's learn new words and practice English at level C2. Leverage, to use something to maximum advantage. Example, in high-stakes meetings, you can leverage data and statistics to make your argument more compelling. Nuance, a subtle or slight difference in meaning, expression, or tone. Example, understanding the nuance of your audience's concerns can help you tailor your persuasion more effectively. Reframe, to present an idea or situation in a different way to change its perception. Example, you can reframe a challenge as an opportunity to align with the team's goals and persuade them to act. Consensus, general agreement among a group. Example, building consensus by addressing everyone's concerns can strengthen your persuasive position in a meeting. Implicit, suggested or understood without being directly stated. Example, subtle persuasion often relies on implicit messages that guide your audience to the desired conclusion without overtly stating it.